Welcome to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, episode 412, coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in. It's Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody enjoyed their time with friends and family and continued times with friends and family. And like I actually didn't put my annual post up because I think I knew I was going to say it today. You know, the one thing with Memorial Day, and it always gets me, and I always put the same post up every week. Folks, we do not celebrate Memorial Day. We observe Memorial Day.
We thank those that served us, lost their...
Absolutely. The men and women of our services through the very beginnings to now who paid and gave the ultimate sacrifice. You know, keep them and their families in your prayers because they did what they do. So we do get a 3-day weekend to kick off summer and everything we've kind of turned it into. But always remember that, folks. We observe Memorial Day.
It's kind of been turned into a celebrating holiday, hasn't it? You know, and really it's more about honoring those who fought for us and gave us that opportunity to be here today.
Absolutely.
And people get that confused because they don't know. They think Memorial Day, July 4th. You know, I mean, they think party, the lake, the boats, and I get it. That's your freedom to be able to do that, but it's not what the day is about. You know, and you ask any veteran, they'll tell you that they're best friends and their family members, the ones they lost, and the ones that gave that ultimate sacrifice for us. You know, that's why we're here today. That's why we get a 3-day weekend technically. But we're here to remember those guys, and I appreciate everybody, and I can't thank anybody enough that gave us that life-altering change to be here today. So,
no, absolutely. But folks, like I said, thank you for tuning in. We're gonna chat it up this evening. Who knows where we're gonna go? But where we are gonna go right now is
there's no maps.
And
there's no road maps.
We've never road map with you, me and you, baby. It's 4 high, let it fly.
Just don't let old Daddy Dutch in here. We're gonna be okay. You know, you let him in here, and it just shit make us go all to hell.
But tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. What can I say, folks? Uncle Steve, tremendous guy, a shirt off his back kind of guy. 19 amazing flavors. The original Gator Shake, Comp Line, Sweet and Spicier, the Mi Amigo, Magic Ribs, Dessert Shake. The list goes on and on. Steve wears all the hats. He's mixing the shake, bottling, packaging, labeling, shipping, answering phone calls, answering emails. He's emailing and sending calls back if he has a question about your order. He wants it to be perfect. If you have a question on how to use the shakes or flavor profiles, shoot him a message, give him a call. He'd love to have a conversation with you. Prides himself on freshness. If you place your order, that order is getting mixed within a day or two. Not sitting on the shelf, no, nothing. So when it arrives on your doorstep, it is the freshest it can be. So check him out at UncleSteveShake.com. Follow along on Facebook at Uncle Steve Shake Nation. Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Royce City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an amazing job day in, day out. Always
good
the
people.
highest.
I met him about a month ago.
That's right. Always the highest grade of meats possible. Fresh produce brought in daily. For all us comp guys and backyarders, he's got us covered. Multiple lines of rubs, seasoning, sauces, injections, marinades. Now an official Nomad dealer. So the Nomad grill, the Nomad charcoal, the Nomad wood, all Nomad products right in the shop. And now, and Aaron, I don't know if you heard about this guy, but apparently his charcoal, I know his seasonings are pretty good, but his charcoal's supposed to be real different. Now carrying Texas oil dust.
Ah,
Oh,
that's right.
right on shelves.
New dealer, Royce City, Texas, man. Joe,
That's
I tell you
right.
what, when I met him, I've only seen like some clips and some videos, man. But when you walk in this place, and I walked into the back door, obviously, I should have walked in through the front. But I was, went to the back, and that's the delivery side and all the stuff there. But when I walked in, I smelt at home. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a kitchen on the right. He's got guys on the left. He's got the fresh meats. He's got the cooked meats. He's got the cafeteria style buffet going on. He's got the cracklings happening over here. And I mean, this guy has got it all going on. And when you walk past it, the store is probably a big store, but it looks so small because he has things from the floor to the ceiling. He has
Yep.
got everything you could possibly want, and he will talk to you. And it's just like going back in time. Joe just has a different personality, and I just was blown away. I said, "Man, I know I've talked to you, but I've never really got to sit down and talk with you, And so it was
Yeah.
it was a very nostalgic place. But it had a wholesome vibe to it, man. So yeah, I was so excited. Big Rome, Joe, they all got me in there, treated me like family, got us on the shelves, and now you can go there and buy. Yeah, you can go there and buy my lump charcoal. You can get my seasonings there as well. So and some damn good food. Like I ate on
Oh yeah.
cracklings like for like the 3 hours. Oh, yeah, he hooked me
and
up.
yeah, and that's the other thing. While you're there, are you feeling a little hungry? Gabriel's got you covered. Gabriel's mom's behind the counter whipping up some of the freshest cuisine out there. So swing in, grab a plate, grab a bowl, sit down with the boys, make a new friend, and just enjoy
And I
the
love it. They have
time.
a 16 or 20-foot table in there, man,
Yeah.
with bar stools on both sides. Just come grab a seat and hang out. Just family style buffet. And you just sit there and eat. And it doesn't matter who's next to you on the right or the left or across from you. You're all family now because you just sit there and eating. And I love the vibe, man. I just love that.
Yeah.
I was going to try to make it out there tomorrow or Wednesday and see if I couldn't make it out. I'm going to see how my schedule goes. I'm up here in DFW for about the next 3 or 4 days. So it's like, it's not that far over, but it's enough that it might be out of my realm, but I'm going to see if I can't get over there anyway. So
No, absolutely.
good
Absolutely. Like
people.
I said, guys, if you're ever in that DFW area, swing on by. Tell Gabriel and the crew, Johnny Mag sent you. Remember, folks, Joe's Meat Market for the win. And last but certainly not least, tonight brought to you by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. The 2026 Road to Barbecue Greatness runs through New England this season and beyond. The New England Triple Crown is back for year 2 and bringing the next battle for the belt buckle with it. In introducing the 2026 Uncle Steve Shake New England Triple Crown, sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. 3 competitions, 3 states, 1 champion. This isn't a one weekend win. It's a season-long battle for consistency and barbecue fire. If you want the crown, you've got to run the gauntlet. 7 Maple Showdown in New Hampshire. Vermont Vines Vineyards in Rockingham, Vermont. The Camp Harkness Beachside Smoke Showdown in Waterford, Connecticut. Show up and show out with your best chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket. Jackpots and unique opportunities included Loaded Bloody Mary, Future of Q, and Women of Q events this year is bound to be fire. Only one team will stand at the end. New England Triple Crown champion. Registration is open. Step up and show out, powered by Uncle Steve's Shake. All right, let's see this chat real quick because it was jumping earlier. I know that Daddy Dutch guy was number 1 in. And yeah, there he was.
Yeah, he's probably going,
Tom's Food
screw
Factory.
you, Aaron.
Matt Pereira, what's up? Frack Daddy, what's up, Jared?
What's
The
up,
Moose
Jared?
Barbecue, what's
Man, I ain't talked to Jared in a
happening?
while.
Tim Rogers up to barbecue. Absolutely, brother. Looking forward to catching up with you. Larry Vaughn, afternoon from Delaware. Getting ready to head north. Attaboy, attaboy. And yeah. Well, guys, here we are tonight. Like I said, Memorial Day weekend. Gotta bring you a little something. So, I reached out to a, very dear friend of mine. And I'm like, "Hey, brother, you wanna chew the fat a little bit for a couple minutes?" And he goes, "Absolutely." So if y'all haven't figured out, tonight's guest is the one and only from Texas Oil Dust, Mr. Aaron Lesley.
What's up, bitches? No, it's I tell you, man, I texted you. I was like, hey, it's Monday. I'm up here, in the Metroplex area, and I'm like, I've got a little swim pool action going on. Got a bunch of friends over there, that everybody just kind of, hey man, we're gonna be hanging out, doing whatever. So, and I was sitting there and I was like, on my phone, and it said 5:30. I was like, oh crap. Oh, Max, man, I got a show with him. Let me text him real quick, when I got my iPad and got it charged real quick. So yeah, we was able to make it work. But I always love coming on, man. I always love
No, it's always
jumping on that.
always a
Let me get
good
this
time.
light out of the way. That one
Nah,
light's
you're
causing
good,
problems.
brother. That's all right. You're good.
Sure,
You're
let me
good.
slide over. I mean, it's a high quality show, dog. We gotta keep it on the legit side. We can't have no spotlights from above.
Daddy Dutch is already at it. Aaron, are you
Where do I
coming
see
up
these
to the
comments
case?
at? I don't need this guy chiming in. Let me find out where we're at so I can be able to see what old jackass is saying there.
He's asking, are you going up to Brandon, South Dakota for the KCBS CBA doubleheader?
Okay, that's the weekend before the Royal, right?
I believe it's in that area. Yeah.
It's like somewhere like the end of September before the Royal. I think it was a double. It was a KCBS CBA double. Then it was the Royal, and then it was a Jack.
Yeah. I
I
think
think that's
that's
what it
right.
was. So, yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence on that. I'm really thinking about it. Going up there, cooking the double, hitting the Royal, and then if I get my seven for the if I get qualified for the Jack, rolling over and making about 3 weeks out of it, so it'll be close to 4 by the time it's done. But it is on my radar. I will put it that way.
Yeah, he says Labor Day weekend is when it is. So
Labor Day weekend.
little before the Royal.
Is it okay? There might be a couple of them. I can't. I looked, but then dates may have changed, and I may be having some dates wrong. But I didn't want to. I don't want to just say yes, I'm going to be there. But at the same time, I did see it, but I thought it for some reason. I was thinking it was the double header CBA KCBS with. Then the next weekend was the Royal, and then it was the Jack. So, well, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. I want to come up that way. I'll be up there. I'm hoping to be up there the end of June at the Capitol. For that the big giant cook off. And I saw that we had one in Vermont too, and I was like, man, which one I want to go to, but um, we'll see when I get out that direction. What we're looking at. I mean,
Yep.
we're talking about a solid 22-hour drive. By the time we get to do stuff, break it up in a couple days, and hit the road. So we'll see what we come up with.
No, absolutely. Chef Johnny, what's happening, sir? Thanks for tuning in. So brother, you have been busy.
Real
Um,
busy.
let's catch up on a little bit of that. Obviously expanded the Texas Oil Dust line into more stores, but more importantly, you are running. Not that you weren't running it full bore before, but you're 100% all
Hundred percent
in,
all
day
in.
out on
It's
it now.
scary.
You kind of backed away from the restaurant and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
I
So
mean, I tell you what, it's scary, but it's so much fun. Um, I'm getting to live the dream, and don't get me wrong. I have had the same conversation with other guys in the same business. Phil Breeden, Bill Purvis. Me and Fred have talked about. I mean, the guy that takes we've talked in the last 4 or 5, 6 years. And what's the goal? What are you looking for? Well, I mean, it would be really cool one day. And this is back when I first started. That if I could ever just sell my seasonings as 100%. And in the last since COVID, obviously we all know the dynamics changed after COVID. People were buying everything to get their hands on. We couldn't keep stuff in stock. I mean, we were just doing the best we could to keep it what we had. And but over time, you build your brand, and that brand expands and it keeps expanding to where you have like you made a comment where Steve, when you said he has X amount of different types of rubs. I think did you say like 16 or 19 or something like that?
19, yeah, he's got a 19.
Yeah, so
SKUs.
he has 19 different seasonings. I have like 16 different SKUs. Can y'all see me? Are we okay?
Yeah, brother, we're good.
Okay, I want to make sure. I mean, I'm on the 5Gs. I just want to make sure. But anyways, the thing is that when you get to a certain point, you need to sell what you have in your arsenal. You need to sell what you have in there. And every now and then you bring something new out. That's the way the life works, right? But I wanted to make sure that everything was good and the restaurant was taking off. John Scarborough, Johnny Vandegrift, Chef Johnny, all those guys at the Half Acre, they are doing a fantastic job. But it came to the point that me and my seasonings, I just found myself a way more because I made sausage, I used to run the pits, work in the background, and it got to the point that I was only at work, a couple, 2.5, 3 days. And then the rest of the time it was all Texas oil dust. And so I felt confident that it was the time, to say, hey, let's just roll with this and see what happens. So that's what we did. And I'm on my second month being a full-time, selling seasonings. And I'm doing the old-fashioned way though, man. I'm not doing it with social media.
Mm-hmm.
The more people you talk to, the more you find out that there's a very big genre that wants to go all social media. They don't talk to nobody. They don't shake hands. They don't go outside. They just do what they do on the computers. Then you got the guys who go to work every day, do their thing. They play on their phones, going to work, coming home, in the restroom, and on break time, whatever. Then you have your guys that just not only have social media. I just, I want to talk to somebody in person, and that's how your businesses are. Your businesses are more. I would love to talk to somebody, shake a hand, see a face. Right now somebody came in and said, hey, this seasoning, you ought to bring it in here. And so all I have is a name, and then I have a website, and then I have a bottle. And that's it. Mm-hmm. So the more people I spoke with, the more they were like, Aaron, we love it. The fact that you're coming in the store, you're talking to us, you're meeting us, you're shaking our hand. We're looking over the area, see what you have, and what can I bring to the table? And so I've been doing that now for 2 months. And, the more I do it, the better it goes. And I'm excited. I'm scared out my ass. I'm scared shitless, because am I going to fail? No, I'm not going to fail. We're not built that way. We're people, we're people that will overcompensate sometimes, we'll conquer, but we're going to always figure it out to make it work, and if worst case scenario, you go back to work, doing something that you were doing before. But, yeah, I'm extremely stoked and excited because not only do I sell barbecue seasonings and talk to managers, I talk to store owners, get to talk about how, how they cook things, how I cook things, and I get to go compete on the weekends and see all my barbecue family and see the guys on the circuit that use our products. So, I'm able to do that, and there's no other thing but me, and I'm having a blast. So I'm spending the whole week in Fort Worth and Dallas area just selling seasonings and cooking. So, what else can you really want for that? That's just kind of, you're always on the job, but you're able to go where you need to go.
No, absolutely. Lindsey Vinson, what's happening? Thank you for tuning
Sue.
in. But like you were saying, there's guys who like, get in person, put hands together, have that conversation. And I'll go back to a quick story of you and I making our rounds down at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo.
Yeah.
And we were at one of the tents, and one of the guys was talking to us, and You know, we were just talking shop. We're talking, how to cook us,
Yeah,
and
100%.
never. Um, so he goes, oh, this is one of our secret recipe weapons, and right on the table next to him, he breaks out, and it's a bottle of your piggy bank, right?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
tell
a
me,
random tent. I think you went in there to talk to somebody real quick.
random pet. We stopped in, and he didn't, he didn't recognize anything, other than I'm pretty sure you were wearing a Texas Oil Dust shirt. So I still don't understand how, he might have been, this was later on in the evening. So the
Yeah,
brown water was probably flowing
yeah,
pretty
brown
good
water
at
was
that
getting it,
point.
man.
But he was talking that piggy bank up a storm, and all this, and then you finally broke him and go, yeah, man, Aaron Lesley, Texas Oil Dust, that's me. And
Hey,
the
matter of
guy
fact,
stopped.
there he is right there.
That's the one.
That's him.
That's
He is that guy. He's like, he goes, I use this like all the time. That's what we're using here for all the crowd and everything. I said, well, man, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And he's like, I love to meet the guy. I was like, well, you're in luck because that's my bottle. I'm Aaron Lesley. He goes, what? I thought you had a shirt on. So anyway, pretty neat. We probably talked like we all three we hung out like 30 minutes.
we were there. Oh yeah, we were there a while with him, but no, it was just funny. But that was the prime thing that he absolutely loved, being able to shake your hand,
Yeah,
talk to you on a personal level, have a conversation with you, and like you said, that's what you're enjoying when you're hitting that road. you know, introducing yourself, introducing your seasonings, your injections, your sauces, the whole line. And like you said, people enjoy that still because it's still that personal touch to it.
it sure is. Sure
Because
is.
we all can sit here and grab the phone and click, 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 and okay, it gets out there, but you don't have that personal relationship rolling.
Yeah,
And just a
yeah.
regular conversation, just shit, have a regular conversation about the goddamn weather. And it turns into whatever it
Nobody
turns
talks
into.
coffee shop no more. You
Yeah.
know, nobody sits around. I mean, the old men do. I mean, the guys that enjoy that, they go sit down, have a cup of coffee, refill after refill after refill. They spend their 2 or 3 hours. They every morning. Now they got a couple hours and everything. But one comment stood out to me about 2 months ago, maybe three. And so there's a store owner there at Ace Hardware. And a lot of us guys, we love Ace Hardware because they always have a barbecue section in any small town. They might be
Yep.
small and it might be big. You don't really know. I love our barbecue stores, the ones that really focus on the barbecue commitment and the pitmaster lifestyle. And I love those. But every small town has an Ace Hardware, and so therefore, that's a big thing that those guys own that store. They only bring in products they trust, and they rely on. So, and the cooks come in and say, "Hey, man, can you get this? Can you get that?" So we go talk to him, and
Yeah.
and the owner of the store is like, he said, "Aaron, man, what you're doing is not normal anymore. Nobody really goes and drives and talks to somebody." And
Yeah.
so, we went to his back in the section, and I spoke to his wife. They had a wedding retail that they booked weddings. They did like, the flowers and the arrangement. They got rid of that. And then it was in an Ace Hardware. They got rid of all that. It was a privately owned. And he's like, we put a barbecue section in. And he said, I love the fact that you come in here because I can, I said, what you have is going to be good, but you want to bring in this and you want to bring in this. It's a small town, so you can't overload the shelves with stuff they don't
Yeah.
want. You want them to, but you also know what sells good in certain parts of the state. And some guys that have seasonings, if you are in California, it may, unless you're just a huge social media presence, you may not sell one bottle in Stevensville, Texas, but you might turn around and sell 100 bottles in California. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So sometimes it's knowing your atmosphere, knowing who's there. And so when those guys ask me, I say, hey, man, and I know a lot of those guys that have those rubs. And so I give them my opinion that, yes, this is good. This will work. And so a lot of those guys are on there, and they can buy those randomly any day of the week. But he's like, look, no one's coming up here and shaking our hand, talking to us, and just spending an hour with us and just saying, hey, I'd love to be on the shelf. I'd love to, sell you one bottle. You want to put one bottle in here? Here it is. I'll give it to you. You can just make money off of it. But that's the thing, is that going back to our roots, where our grandparents and our parents were, Amway salesmen, and what is my mom used to do Amway. She did like the different gosh dang it, Tupperware. Those people that had that old connection. I'd like to kind of bring that back to where you have that new connection with in a new age, but you kind of keep that old school feel.
Yep.
If it don't work, then I guess I won't be doing this for very long. We'll see what happens.
No, but like you were saying with the Ace Hardware stores now, and it's so true. There's always an Ace Hardware somewhere around, and up here in New England, there's plenty of them, but like you said, they were small sections of the barbecue side.
Yeah,
good. Don't get me wrong, but once you got around all the Weber's and the Big Green Eggs, then you got into the the small shelving of the rubs and sauces and things like that. And so I would literally have to plan my route for restocking my stuff or getting ready for a comp, because this particular Ace in Concord had my wood splits. This Ace in Guilford had my injections I was using that one. This one, each one had different things because there's only so much shelf room they had. Then there was one in Allenstown, New Hampshire. And I drove by it one morning and they were literally ripping the sign off the building. And I went, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, this is terrible. Because that one I literally drive by twice a day.
Yeah.
Going from home and coming to home. And lo and behold, there was a Rite Aid pharmacy across the street. The Rite Aid went out of business and Ace Hardware bought that building.
Hey, moving on up.
Oh, Aaron. And the best part is you walk through the front door and it's the barbecue section. That's what you see when you walk through that front door. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 aisles, and they're, I don't even know, 8, 10, 8, 16, 20, 30 feet long, the aisles.
Wow.
And floor to top, they have now it's a one-stop shop now for everything I need. But like you said, you go into one of those Ace Hardwares, and they have their warehouse in the list of stuff. But it goes for really any of those stores. Hey, do you have the able to get any Texas oil dust products?
Any one of your listeners out there that has Ace Hardware, help us all out. You can walk in and any Ace Hardware. Now, if it says Westlake, so if it says Westlake Ace Hardware, and I'm only giving this small demo here, but listen, I love any store that wants to purchase any barbecue seasoning. It doesn't matter whose it is, because they're trusting that brand to be on the shelf and to sell it. I'm not dissing anybody, like not giving them the credit, that they need, but I just know that Ace Hardware, if it says Westlake, it's a corporate hardware that's a bigger market, like a Lowe's, a Home Depot. It's got more of that bigger feel. If it's Allen's Ace Hardware, then it's a privately owned Ace Hardware. If it just says Ace is the place, and Ace, then it's a corporate store. But a lot of guys own 1, 2, 3 of these, if not 5 or 6. So if any one of your listeners out there has an Ace Hardware near them, they want to just please try it, say, hey, will you please bring in Texas oil? It helps me out. I want in their warehouse. That's my one goal. And that's my goal as a wholesaler, is to get into Ace Hardware's warehouse. And that's a big goal for me. That's going to help keep me doing this full time and help me able to ship those guys the products, get them out there, bring the products in, get more out there, and spread that love. And so when I went into one about 2 weeks ago, the barbecue section was up front, full display. They didn't have one bottle of seasoning anywhere. So I thought, man, so I walked the store looking for a manager. I talked to them. Their barbecue rubs, their section was in a whole nother place. This is a random store. But they weren't capitalizing that the rubs and the sauces and all that stuff they should go with the grills, you know. And I asked them, I said, how come it's not up front, you know? And I actually walked out and I was like, man, that just can't be right. There's got to be more to the story. So I went back in and I talked to them. I found somebody and I spoke with them, and they don't know what to bring in. If the customers, if me or you or Daddy Dutch, doesn't matter who it is, if we don't walk into the local hardware store, Ace Hardware or a True Value or I think it's a Do It Best, you know, different ones. If you don't walk in there and tell them what you like and what they want, they won't bring it in. They have no idea. They're only going off of a distribution website that says this one here, here's this one, here's this one. So they bring in the top 20 or the top 10 that are popular because of YouTube and that stuff. That's it. So, you know, you may not really like certain seasonings, but there's a lot that you do like, and they will bring those in, especially because they can order from anybody. So really, you know, that's the one thing that I'm focusing on is trying to stop every time when I'm driving down the interstate, I'm Googling, you know, barbecue seasonings near me, and I'm stopping in. I'm constantly going in there, you know, because no matter what, I can't fail. Nobody wants to fail. That's just not the way you think of things. We all want to survive, but we all have good products. And I could hire somebody, but they're not going to sell it as good as I'll sell it. They can't represent my company like I will represent my company. So my flavors are there for a reason, and I like what I do. So I try to spread the word by a handshake and a kind word. And hopefully, you know, it gets it there. But if any of your listeners are out there, you know, and they really have an Ace Hardware around, they walk in and say, please, can you get some Texas Old Dust in? They'll contact us and we can just go. And I'm a vendor for theirs. They have the information. It's just hard to get it in because not everybody, you know, nobody goes to your hardware store to buy seasonings. They go to academies or, you know, your local grocery store or whatever that is.
No, absolutely. All right, let's see here. Girl Dad cooking up deliciousness. What's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Harold sorry there, Harold. Harold Williamson. I know the owner and manager of Kingsland, Texas Ace, and I'm going to go talk to him.
Go.
Appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate that, Harold.
Brother. Then we got YouTube Police 29. What's happening? Yeah, you know, Dutch, me, it's up to you. Yeah, YouTube Police. I don't know if that's one of the boys having some fun changing up the thing, but hey, well,
let's hope the YouTube Police ain't on there, you know.
Yeah. But no, I got an interesting question for you, and you know, to see from your point of view, obviously, like I was telling, we were talking beforehand. You know, my competition season's kicking up in about 2 weeks. First event we have for the Triple Crown in New Hampshire. So, like I said, I've been running to my aces and here and there and ordering my briskets and, you know, getting my supplies for the season revamped. Now, here's the question. How do you, like me, I'm loading everything in the truck. I got the smoker on the trailer and boom, and I'm, you know, canopy pop-up tenting it and my tables, you know, a bit old school, you know. And so I know what I got to do to, you know, supply-wise. Now, you have your trailer and work out of that. Do you go through the kind of the same steps, or with the trailer you have, I guess, more so of just I guess an easier time inventory-wise? because of
Man,
cabinets and
I'm
drawers
always
and shit.
buying double and triple. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you're on the go, right? Your trailer is at home and you're, 20, 30, 40 miles away, whatever the number is, right? So if you are if you don't quite remember on Sunday what you had left over from Saturday, then you're kind of guessing. So what I do
Yeah.
is in my truck, like right now, my truck is full of seasonings from top to bottom. The bed's full, but if I was to on a regular weekend, I take a box. It has one of everything that I use. All of my products has one of everything. So I always have a backup box in the truck. No matter what you have, and I have a speed rail, and so my horse trailer that I have is 24 feet long, and it's got a bathroom, shower, and a little bed in there, and everything. But I don't have a lot of space to store things. So I do in the
Mm.
back end. I have a toolbox. I put a cutting board on. I keep it simple. I got a little Rectech 390 tailgater, and then I got my Jambo in the back. So everything is within a seven, a 7 wide by 9 feet. So what I do is I bring my seasonings outside. I put them on the table. I use them, and then when I run out, I have a backup in the truck, and that's what I do. I only purchase besides like chicken and ribs and brisket. Um, I only purchased like four additional items, and it's like beef broth, chicken broth, whatever. I mean, so I don't really. Everything that I use is my own products, and everything is in there, right? So I don't have to buy much, but I always when I go into the store, I have the same list every week. When I get in my trailer, I say, oh hell, I had one of those, so I use it first, and that goes in the back. But the next weekend, I
Yeah.
try to remember, hey, I got it. So I've narrowed my stuff down to where I'm about $130 worth of supplies every weekend. Um,
Oh, that ain't
and
bad.
that's ribs, chicken, a little broths, here and there, some Kansas, whatever. But that's some Kansas things, and maybe a little sugar in the raw, or whatever. So I have a backup for the things that I purchase because it's very minimal. I have a backup for that, and it stays in my truck. And so if I run out, I just go grab it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my inventory isn't as much because I've always got a backup for the stuff that I buy, and it's usually in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I've been sitting here with, I got the lists on the phone. I got the list in my pocket, and I'm adding to this, adding to that. Just I'm getting everything in, so I have everything in the garage ready to go. So when in 2 weeks when we're kicking off to load in on Friday,
Yeah,
all right, I need 10 full pans. I need 10 half pans. Okay. Literally building the barbecue section in the garage and literally picking the shelves. Okay. I need 3 boxes of beef broth, 2 boxes of chicken broth, but like I said, I know because I do it all pretty much all at once, you
yeah.
know, and,
So I
like,
use my notepad on my phone. So my
yeah,
notepad, you put the bubbles on it, and I got a list. That list is probably 55 or 60 items long. Um, but that covers me for every letter of the alphabet. Doesn't matter where I'm going, I have the extra stuff I need. So I go through there and I hit the bubble, and it goes to the bottom like you've already got it, and it stays there because I may not use it very much, but I know I still have it, and so I use that checklist on my iPhone to make sure that I have what I need. And then all of a sudden I freak out on the way to cook. I'm like, oh, you know what? I let the pans,
yeah,
the half pans, full size pan, third pan. I left those at the warehouse. So yeah, I got to stop and get some. But yeah, at my warehouse, I've got a rack. I've got a couple of bags from Sam's Club. I got the full size pans, half pans, third pans. I have those in there. I grab a stack every couple 3 weeks. Time I pull one out, is hey, grab another stack of them. You got them, and I'll forget. Believe me, but I don't have a lot of room, so I have to keep my
yeah,
list tight, and I got to keep it to where I can just go in there and get it.
yeah,
Before in my bigger horse trailer, the one that got salvaged out, and the got damaged by road wear. Um, I had everything in there. I mean, I could compete for probably 2 months, and I mean everything was on the shelves in a cabinet. It was all perfectly laid out. So no matter what, I didn't have to go to the store very often because I had a lot of room. And now that I don't have a lot of room,
Yeah.
it's like, damn it, I'm always going to the store last minute or stopping last minute because I forgot some stuff. So yeah, you got to stay on top of that checklist. But what's good is a buddy of mine has a app coming out that has everything you can possibly want on there: grocery list, checklist, temperatures on the pits. It has every contest in the United States on one website.
Ooh.
Stay tuned. More to come.
Yeah.
It's got a few
We'll
other
talk
things in
about
there
that
too, but
later.
I'm just giving you some. We've taken a lot of years of road work and talking, right? And a lot of ideas and suggestions, and now it's coming to fruition where all this is being built by one man, not being built by a firm, not being built by a marketing firm and AI and stuff. This is someone for the last year and a half, 2 years, been putting all this data into this information, right? And then I mean wires and probes and when to pull and when all these things, man, drives me crazy. But we use this because we're trying to make this the best for anybody, where you're on competition or in the backyard. And so with that information coming out, it takes like all of the websites and pulls it into one app for a small fee. But I can go on there right now and I can see every contest for the month of May or the month of June or the month of July that's on the websites for every alphabet soup in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And I can go and just pick and through which one I want. And it's updated every week. Flyers, maps, that you name it, it's all on there. So I'm not going to give too much out, but I'm saying if you really are an enthusiast of competition barbecue or just cooking in your backyard, we combine the best of two so that when the guy's in his backyard and he's cooking his brisket and a couple racks of ribs for the family, and the brisket's coming off and the ribs are on and it's fixing it going, but he pulls that foil out and now here's a cardboard roll, he can just go on there and foil. Boom, it's in his app. And when he's done, he can take that and download that sucker and go right to a store, and he can go ahead and just order it up.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh,
Here not only do I have it in my barbecue trailer? No, but I need to go buy this because I'm out. All you got to do is take an extra second and go click on it, So
that's amazing.
It's a pretty good thing. I'm really excited for it. So a lot of, little technology there, kind of pop and, but there's a lot to it, and I love using it because I get to see a lot of innovative things. And every week he's changing it, so I'm kind of excited to see where he stops at.
No, absolutely. Oh,
it helps me. I mean, that's why I get to be so consistent, is because I have something in my back pocket that nobody else does.
Yep. No, absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Oh man, but yeah, I'm excited, man. I've been firing up here and there, but we're ready. We're ready to do it for real in 2 weeks. A week from this Friday. So little less than 2 weeks.
Ready to fire it up. Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully everything goes good. I'll leave the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth area Thursday sometime, make my rounds when I get back home. I got some stuff to do, and then Friday morning I'll head out to Leventon, New Mexico, and we'll compete at smoking on the plaza, and get that last New Mexico contest before the end of the jack draw is over with. Yeah. So
good, brother.
Bouncer out. Now I don't know what next weekend holds. I ain't gone that far yet. It's too far out.
Hey, you cross that bridge when you come to it, right?
Yeah, we look on Sunday. We don't want to cook the next weekend on Sunday. It's like, nah, I don't want to cook. Then Monday you're like, and then Tuesday you start hitting to see what's going on. Next thing you know, Wednesday you're looking at websites, and Thursday you've already bought chicken and ribs. So, it's a habit. It's a habitual repetition after, you do 40 plus a year, since 18 or 19. It's like, it's such a habit. It's like fishing.
Man, I'm telling you, the habit gets me in trouble because I'll Claudio, she'll send me to the store, All right, I need you to grab 3 loaves of bread, a gallon of milk, and rice and something else. All right, cool. Come back and throw the receipt down, and the receipt's $100. What the hell? It was a gallon of milk, 3 loaves, and yeah, but man, they had a couple toad racks. They were
Oh,
beautiful. I couldn't say
that's some
no to
hammers,
them,
huh?
and they had a pork butt there, and the money mustard was beautiful, and it was. He goes, Jesus Christ! I go, this is what happened. I go, you can go to the store yourself if you want. We'll just consider it the meat tax.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Especially
I
now.
mean,
Send me to the
I love
store in the
going.
dead balls of winter.
I love going. I love going to the store. I like to go at 6:05 in the morning when they open because night shift done
Mhm.
stocked out all the good stuff. And then again, I like to
Yep.
go later in the evening because by the time that 3 to 7 hour rush hour kind of got over, everybody's going to cook. They come back out with fresh stuff. So by 9 o'clock, they put out a little bit. So you can get your chicken weights, or you can look, maybe you get, some white skins, the yellow skin thighs, or legs, whatever. So I love going to the store because the first thing I do is we have HEBs down here. So my HEB, and I have two of them in my town, but I have one I go to almost 4 times a week, just because I
Yeah.
stop in and I'm looking, and I got to have something. It's closer, from what I'm doing, but they seem to do a better job. I will say when you drive around the loop and you see the HEB on Loop 250, the parking lot is so full of white trucks and black SUVs because it's the soccer moms and all this stuff, but the white oil field trucks, that is so busy. Everybody grabbing their stuff because it's such a constructed road that there's so much traffic on it, right?
Yeah.
So I go to the other one. It's the older one, but it's just as busy. It's just a different group of people, right? And
Yeah.
so I go there, and I 3 4 days a week, man. I'm checking it out. I'm looking for chickens. I'm looking for thighs, legs. I'm looking for ribs, IBPs, naturals, whatever. So I'm able to Swift, whatever. I'm able to look for those, and then all of a sudden I see the pork butts. They got a big old stack of them. I stand it up and I squeeze. You know what I mean? You got to squeeze that money
Mm-hmm.
muscle, poke it through
Yep.
that plastic a little bit, see what she's gonna look like when she's done. And then I'll say, well, you know what? I think I found 3 good ones. I think I'll take these 3. And I ask that butcher, say, can you cut these off, make pork collars, on swamp donkeys, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
get those out there, and then they're like, nope, we don't do that no more. They're always the time. They used to cut them for us. Now they don't cut them for
Yeah.
us. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll take 3 pork butts, because I only cook 3 collars when I'm doing a KCBS or a CBA. And
Yeah.
so I'm just like, I don't want to change that rhythm. And so I do that, but I'm always looking, but I'm always going at odd times that benefit me because I see the rush and how many people are coming in. Who's getting
Mm-hmm.
out of the workout at 11 o'clock in the morning to go home and do their household duties, or who's going between 3 and 7 to get dinner real quick so they can go, and they're picking whatever 9 pound chicken that's on the rack.
No, absolutely, absolutely. But oh yeah, no, absolutely. She cringes now. I go, the dead balls of winter. She's pretty safe. But once spring kicks off, ooh, all bets are off. You never know. It's Russian roulette or what I'm coming home with.
I used to be a hoarder. I was a hoarder in meats. So
Yeah.
if I found 5, like here in Texas, we cook a half chicken. So if I found 4.5 pound, 4.3 to 4.6, I would buy all 4 of them and I'd freeze them. Not a big deal. Now, how many times that chicken been frozen? Yeah, it's a question, right? Because you
Yep.
won't know till you cook it when the texture is different. It looks a different color. It's kind of different. But I would buy that, and then one day we went on vacation. I came back, and the power company that was moving some stuff, not the power company, the company that moved, they turned my breakers off. And I specifically said, don't turn this panel off because it operates 3 stand-up freezers and a refrigerator full of meat. I had briskets in one, pork, ribs, and then the third, the regular refrigerator was just chicken because you don't need that much. You don't need that many chickens in your freezer. But I
Yeah.
had racks, and I could go in like 4 or 5 months without going to the store because every time I see a good one, I just buy it. And I wouldn't. I knew I already had good meat in the freezer, so I wouldn't go to the store until I started getting low. 2 or 3 shelves down. Okay, it's time to fill these up, and so I would go that way. So I walked in. I thought, man, what died? Like what cow, what bull,
Mhm.
6,000 pound hippo back here just passed away, right? And I opened up and the doors done blew open, bags, ribs, briskets, you name it. And all I could do was put them on a tarp and roll them with a rake to try to bust the bags. And I took all the meat and I ratchet strapped the freezers. So I no longer hoard meat. I'm
Yeah.
by the week of. I don't hoard it no more. I'm not gonna have that was a lot of money that I lost going out the door. So
Yeah.
I don't hoard it no more. And how
No,
many times you
no.
heard that story? Somebody's freezer went out, or
Oh,
somebody's refrigerator went out, or
absolutely.
the door got left open, or something.
Oh, I've done it. I left the lid open. I got sidetracked or an armful of stuff, brought it upstairs, got sidetracked up there, and that was the end of it. Went to work for 2 days. And then it's like, walked in there and like, oh no. Oh no. Both these are gone, so
And
oh yeah.
most people enjoy a little trip out of the house, and a little afternoon or mid morning shop. So, most of everybody here in Texas, that a lot of guys do freeze and they do hoard that meats. But man, I just can't. After I lost all that, I tried to estimate what it was, but there's just no way to. It was over $3,000 worth of meat, and that was a
No.
minimum. Because I just one thing I don't have to worry about is briskets and hoarding briskets. Midland Meat Company is my sponsor, and those guys just they take care of me and anybody else that calls them up for a brisket. So, with that being said, I just go in, talk to Adrian. Hey, buddy, you got one out there? We got some on the shelf, so I go find one and I just go on. I don't have to hoard those, and I don't freeze those up. So that's
No.
but yeah, you definitely get in a bind.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, brother, like I said, man, thank you so much. I know you're out with friends and everything, but I appreciate you giving me some time. We'll keep doing some catching up. Get a
Yeah, you're good.
little hit the road, brother, and
Yeah, they'll hit the road.
I
I don't have a solo cup, so I'm drinking out of a plastic one they had, but it's still got the same
it's
brown
still
water
red.
in it. It's still red. Don't die on me,
Oh,
John.
no,
That yummy.
I ain't gonna. I can't fit that in my schedule. Oh, but brother, thank you so much, man,
You
for
appreciate
giving me
it,
some
man.
time.
Thank y'all.
You go have fun with your friends and everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll catch up down the road, brother.
Adios, guys.
All right, brother. Thanks, Aaron.
See ya.
Oh, guys, it's always great catching up with my brother Aaron. Such a great guy, great products. If you haven't checked out any of the Texas Oil Dust products, check them out. They're proven winners. Proven winners. Like I said, if you're at your local hardware store, talk to the owner and manager. Give it a shout. See if they'll get some in and show some support that way. But like I said, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Memorial Day weekend. And like you said, thank you to everybody who paid the ultimate sacrifice for this. It's more than a 3-day weekend, but yeah, but like I said, thank you all for tuning in. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that uh, subscribe button and notification bell. You get every single episode right at your fingertips. Catch the audio version anywhere, any audio platform. I'm on there. So check that out. Any questions, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. Next week, have my good friend Marvin Weinberger from The Grill Fighter making his triumphant return. Just got Grill Fighter, his grill brush, He has, which I believe, in my opinion, is the best on the market. I have put this thing through hell. It's his chain mail grill brush. Put it through hell. It's still like brand new. It works amazing. So we'll catch up with Marvin, talk about that. Just got named on Bon Appetit magazine #1 grill cleaning tool. So big happenings there. And I know the last time we had talked, he had a few other little things up his sleeve he was working on. So we'll see what might be coming down the pipeline and all that. So that's next week. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.